Hello there. Thank you very much for choosing to watch the Uganda Catholic Television. My name is Sunday Gloria Aboch, presenting to you the Thursday edition of Uctv News. The Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Honorable Matia Kasaija, has this afternoon officially launched Uganda's national budget for the financial year 2025-2026, guided by the theme of full monetization of the Ugandan economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, expanding and broadening services, digital transformation, and market access. The budget sets the tone for Uganda's economic direction over the next fiscal year. In his address, Minister Kasaija noted that the 2025-2026 budget marks the conclusion of the current NRM manifesto implementation and paves the way for the rollout of the fourth National Development Plan, NDP-4.
We are now in the phase of socio-economic transformation to facilitate wealth creation and prosperity. Your Excellency, I thank and commend you for this. Madam Speaker, the budget for financial year 2025-26 will conclude the implementation of the current NRM manifesto and start the implementation of the fourth National Development Plan. For the next 15 years, the successive national development plans will implement the 10-fold economic growth strategy. This strategy aims to expand the size of the economy to US$ 500 billion by 2040 from US$ 61.3 billion estimated this financial year 24-25. Madam Speaker, over the accountability period, government has undertaken targeted investments that have built a firm foundation and strengthened the resilience of our economy. I wish to highlight the following achievements. 1. Total peace, security of person and property, political stability have been the foundation upon which sustained high economic growth and wealth creation to be built. 2. The economy more than tripled to shillings 226.3 trillion Uganda shillings, equivalent to US$ 61.3 billion this financial year 24-25, from shillings 64.8 trillion, equivalent to US$ 27.9 billion in financial 2010-2011. In March 2024, Uganda met the criteria for graduation from the category of least development countries. Let me repeat this. In March 2024, Uganda met the criteria for graduation from the category of least development countries. 4. Life expectancy has improved to 68.2 years in financial year 23-24 from 63.3 years in 2010-11 and from 50.4 years in 2002. This has been partly driven by improvements in access to health services, massive immunization campaigns that reduce disease prevalence and child mortality. 5. The population living within a 5-kilometer radius of a health facility is now 91% from about 8% in financial year 2010-2011. And 81% of parishes now have government-aided schools. 6. Poverty has decreased by 16.1% in financial 2023-24 from 24.5% in financial year 2010-2011. In addition, Madam Speaker, persons in the subsistence economy reduced to 33% in financial year 23-24 from 69% in financial year 2010-2011. Madam Speaker, Uganda is becoming a more equal society. The results of the National Household Survey released by the Uganda Bureau of Statistics last month show that income inequality has declined significantly in the past 4 years. The Gini coefficient, which is a statistical measure used to determine the extent of income inequality within a population, has reduced to 36% from 41% in 2020. 8. Madam Speaker, Ugandans can now connect to all borders on tarmac and reach all parts of the country, east, west, south, north, by tarmac or improved Madam roads. 9. Installed electricity generation capacity increased fourfold to 2,051 megawatts in financial year 23-24 from 595 megawatts in financial year 2010-2011. Consequently, the proportion of the population with access to electricity increased fivefold to 57% in financial year 23-24 from 11% in financial year 2011. The percentage of the population subscribed to the internet rose to 53% in 2022 from 1.8% in 2010, and the national ICT backbone infrastructure extended to 4,300 kilometers in financial year 22-23 from 1,380 kilometers in financial year 2010-2011. The economy has diversified from the traditional 3 C's, which are coffee, cotton, copper, and 3 T's, which are tobacco, tea, and tourism, to a more sophisticated economy. For example, Uganda has added 31 new products to its export basket in the last 15 years, including light manufactured products such as steel, processed food, cement, pharmaceuticals, dairy products, ceramics, and clothes. The number of manufacturing units, factories of various sizes, has increased by about 18,000 from 31,757 in 2010-2011 to 50,000 in financial year 2023-24.
Now, in a bid to equip young people with leadership skills, moral values, and a renewed sense of national purpose, the Uganda Youth Forum, in partnership with the Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity, will host the 8th National Youth Convention. Leonard Imana Shimwe, Executive Director of the Uganda Youth Forum, emphasized the urgency of the initiative, noting that 77% of Uganda's population under the age of 30, the youth face rising moral confusion, unemployment, and a lack of direction. The convention aims to respond by offering mentorship, faith-based values and meaningful exposure. The one-day event is scheduled for June 28, 2025 at Mijera Uweso Secondary School in Nakasongola District.
And the parents are finding it difficult to provide adequate guidance. Many young people also they feel like victims and they are powerless to make a difference, and some of them are thinking of migrating to cities and more advanced countries. So Uganda Youth Forum, together with the Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity, are partnering together to promote focus and steadfastness, to promote a sense of purpose, self-awareness and self-esteem, as well as to enhance their competitiveness through positive character development and for the young people to possess the requisite technical skills. So the 8th National Youth Convention is going to be building up on the gains of the previous conventions. As you can see, this is the 8th one. We've held the previous 7. And the convention will be focusing on practical and soft skills, as well as communication, leadership, mentorship, ethical values, sexual purity, hard work, entrepreneurship, and patriotism. The Uganda Youth Forum is therefore partnering with the Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity with the support from the Office of the First Lady, and we invite all the young people to attend and participate in the 8th National Youth Convention, which will take place on the 28th of June, 2025 at Mijera Uweso Secondary School in Nakasongola District, and will be starting 10 a.m. and ending at 4 p.m. Our theme for the convention is the role of youth in nation building, and it is derived from Nehemiah chapter 2, verses 17b, and will focus on promotion of steadfastness, a sense of purpose, self-awareness, self-worth among the youth. Distinguished and seasoned speakers and facilitators like Honorable Janet Kata Museveni, Honorable Justice Mike Chivita, Justice of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Uganda and Patron UCLF, Dr. James Magara, Chairman Board of Directors, Uganda Youth Forum, and many other inspirational speakers and testimonies. So, as a network of interfaith non-government organizations, we call upon the youth from every part of the country to attend and participate in this convention online through Zoom and YouTube. We have also engaged many secondary schools, universities, and tertiary institutions to live stream this event for their students. We call upon head teachers and the principals of these institutions who want to set up satellite viewing centers for their students to contact us for registration and mention during the convention. We are sure that as youth, they will be mentored and inspired to pursue their dreams and life aspirations through this event. We implore our parents and caregivers to encourage their children to attend this event. Together, we can build a nation we desire to have.
Government of Uganda is actively embracing technological innovations to make agriculture more attractive to Uganda's youth and overcome challenges such as low productivity and the common perception that farming is a last resort. This was revealed by the Minister of State for Animal Industry, Bright Ramirama, who highlighted the crucial role of technology in transforming the agricultural sector. He cited innovations such as agroforestry, aquaculture, stress-tolerant crop varieties, and solar-powered irrigation systems as examples of progress being made. Ramirama made these remarks ahead of the 31st Annual Agricultural Educational Show in Jinja District, themed Technological Innovations Driving Farm Wealth.
First of all is mindset change. Agriculture from our colonial education was not seen as a very big employment sector. But you know, 80% of our industry in Uganda are agro-based. They move by the government and the federation to involve the youth is actually to bring them to the attention that look here, agriculture can provide a better employment than even other sector. Every day people are eating. The population of the world is increasing, is not going down. And we need to feed this population. So we are attracting the youth to make sure they embrace technology, increase production and productivity, and therefore know that there is a lot of income and opportunity for employment in agriculture sector. These days you don't need to be on the farm 100%. You can watch what is going on in your farm from here by use of camera, that is ICT. You can also monitor moisture in the soil by simple gadgets. You can also allow the youth to engage in artificial insemination. You can also, there are a range of technologies. You need to go to come to Jinja and see what our youth are doing in the schools. It is very amazing. So they are doing everything from garden to post-harvest handling, to value addition, to marketing, and using different apps for different activities. Lack of efficient stocking and planting material. And government, we are providing this through NARO and NAGRIC. We also showcase in the shows, and that's why we are inviting farmers so that they can see innovations. The second one is climate change. Climate change is real and is associated with failed weather conditions and prolonged droughts. So we are helping the farmers, we are popularizing irrigation. We are also providing technology that can make plants resilient and stimulate growth even when there is scarcity of water. So through NARO, we are also addressing the challenge. The other challenge we have is post-harvest handling, and we are helping the farmers through different programs to make sure that we provide the silos, provide storage facilities for grain and also for livestock, especially milk. And we also have a challenge on value addition. The ministry is involved in supporting farmer groups with the primary processing facilities like maize haras, like coffee haras. The other challenge the farmers are facing is the market. And we are improving the market by adding value and also putting in place regulatory services for the commodities we are producing.
Thank you very much for watching UCTV News. Let's take a break and we'll be back with more stories.
UCTV, good news for all.
You are watching UCTV, good news for all. For this and more, tune in to Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Towoka, Ukute, the Business Show, Propeller, the Rico Show and Sports, Evaluation by Hingaba Kuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a Noah car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773 597 166 or visit our website www.kasesegatradio.com. Kasese Radio, Omusondoria, the voice of truth.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. UCTV News continues with local stories. Zombo district is facing an alarming rise in teenage pregnancies, with over 9,000 cases reported between 2021 and 2025. Health records show that 5 out of 100 secondary school girls become pregnant each school term. Local leaders and health officials are raising concern, attributing the surge to entrenched and entrenched cultural practices and widespread economic hardship. Samuel Okachi, the District Community Development Officer, revealed that in the last financial year alone, 3,681 of the 13,961 pregnancies recorded involved teenagers, nearly double Uganda's national average of 14%. Ochaki also noted that teenage girls aged between 15 and 19 make up half of all expectant mothers seeking antenatal care in the district's health facilities.
Teenage pregnancies are a growing concern in Zombo district. According to recent data, the district recorded over 9,000 cases of teenage pregnancies between 2021 to 2025, with 5 out of every 100 secondary school girls conceiving every term. This alarming trend has prompted local leaders and health officials to sound the alarm, citing cultural norms and economic hardships as key contributors. Samuel Oshaki, District Community Development Officer, Zombo District, said in the last financial year, 3,681 out of 13,961 pregnancies recorded in Zombo District involved teenagers, nearly double the national rate of 14%. Oshaki added that half of the expectant mothers attending antenatal services at health facilities in Zombo District are teenagers aged 15 to 19 years.
Teenage pregnancy, which is one form of gender-based violence, leave alone child abuse. We have 27.7% of our pregnant mothers who are below 18 years. So meaning children constitute about 28% for every 100 mothers who go to antenatal. This is a very serious case of gender-based violence. And we have been working with the different partners to try to address this. We have been working with the justice, law and order sector to enforce. Our biggest challenge is that many parents are not reporting.
Ochaki attributed the surge to economic hardships and lack of financial stability, which can lead to teenage girls engaging in risky behaviors.
Particularly those that relate to children, which we think is a very serious crime. So reporting level is very low. We are trying to empower communities. We have set up structures in the village level to help to report these cases, because once we get the perpetrators, they're dealt with very seriously. Of course, there are also men who are also suffering, but I think men, although we cannot tell the magnitude, men fear, because of the gender stereotype that we are,
Knight Oroma, human rights activist in Zombo District, noted that certain cultural practices and expectations can contribute to the prevalence of teenage pregnancies in Zombo District. Oroma decried limited access to reproductive health information and services, leading to increase of the risk of teenage pregnancies.
They are normally, obviously, they are all over the families, and it is true. Those kind of cases you're telling me, it's actually obvious in the families in Zombo. We shall be ready to defend the women.
Teenage girls may be vulnerable to exploitation and abuse, leading to unintended pregnancies. This calls upon stakeholders to prioritize education and reproductive health awareness to address this crisis. Targeted strategies, including enhanced access to education, reproductive health services, and community-based programs, are necessary to prevent early pregnancies and empower girls.
And finally, in our local news stories, government continues to face significant challenges in addressing the growing burden of non-communicable diseases within Uganda's health sector, with 22% of Ugandans now dying due to NCD-related conditions. According to Dr. Frank Mugabe, the acting commissioner for NCDs at the Health Ministry, these diseases are responsible for 33% of all deaths in the country, signaling an urgent need for the increased investment in prevention, detection, and management strategies.
Non-communicable diseases are a result of a combination of genetic, physiological, environmental, and behavioral factors. They are chronic in nature, with a quiet onset, usually asymptomatic in earlier days, manifesting when the situation is worse and irreversible in most cases. Uganda continues to face an alarming rise in the burden of non-communicable diseases and mental health conditions. The non-communicable diseases include cardiovascular diseases, cancers, diabetes, chronic respiratory diseases like asthma and chronic pulmonary obstructive disease, sickle cell disease, and other chronic conditions such as kidney disease and others. These are currently responsible for over 41% of all the deaths in the country, with a 22% chance of dying prematurely due to non-communicable diseases. When we talk about premature death, we need dying before 70 years. Any death that is associated, that happens before 70 years of age, in our medical terminology, we call it premature. And a Ugandan has a 22% chance of dying before 70 years due to any of these non-communicable diseases. A Ugandan will either die of cancer, or die of heart disease, or high blood pressure, or he will die of diabetes, or he will die of a mental health condition or any other condition. Equally concerning is the mental health crisis. Approximately about 5 million Ugandans suffer from depressive disorders, and over 1 million live with anxiety disorders. The abuse of alcohol, tobacco, drugs, particularly among young people, is a driving factor for mental health conditions. There is also family history and genetics. If you are from a history where they have tended to have diabetes, for example, they have tended to have hypertension, you have to watch. If you are from a home where people are obese, don't call it natural, don't call it a blessing. Try to work it out. There are other risk factors which we call physiological. At times we also call it metabolic, because meaning that your body is already involved. For example, obesity and overweight. Being obese is a disease that is usually less talked about, but obesity is associated with diabetes, is associated with heart conditions. It is also associated with chances of sudden death and other complications. High blood sugars. You may be normal, but if you don't know your blood sugar levels, you may find you are moving with high blood sugar levels. High blood pressure. You may be normal, but you find your pressures are high. They may not be high to be quantified as having the disease, but you find your blood pressures are high. High cholesterol levels. These are referred to as physiological risk factors. Adopt a healthy lifestyle to prevent or slow the progress of NCDs. So how do we adopt a healthy lifestyle? The first point is a healthy diet. And Uganda is one of those countries, especially our towns, where we are rampantly abusing the food that we have. Instead of eating healthy food, we are indulging into unhealthy diets. We encourage Ugandans to eat more fruits, vegetables, whole grain products, and we discourage Ugandans from doing the following. We don't encourage Ugandans to eat high salted foods, processed foods, fast foods, like the chapatis you have just had, deep fried chicken, like the chicken you'll have at lunchtime, chips, like the chips you'll have at lunchtime, pork, especially fried pork, reduce consumption of red meat and processed meats, especially those meatballs, refined sugars and sweets, sweetened beverages like sodas and alcohol.
That's it for our foreign news stories. Let's take a look at what makes history tonight. And with the Rome Reports wraps up our Thursday edition of UCTV News. My name is Sanjay Gloria Aboch. Have yourselves the very best of the night.